All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the 155th episode of the Grow My DJ Business podcast, brought to you by Digital Music Pool and the Grow My DJ Business Discord. My name is Kareem.
Gary W. here.
How you doing, Gar? Great to see you.
You know, it's been nice. Got to go to the beach over the weekend, celebrated the 4th, which was excellent. In a very community-driven way, just stayed in the community. They had fireworks, drove the golf carts around, drank some beers, swam. We did a
Love the summer.
4th of July scramble with all the people in the community, had teams. It was just a really fun day of just hanging out with friends and getting to see people in the community here. It was awesome. I had such a good time.
Nice. I DJ'd a rooftop 4th of July party, and you were not able to see the fireworks from the rooftop.
it was presumed that you could. Was that the?
I don't know if it was sold as if you could, but I think it was sort of like hey, we have a rooftop. You can buy a ticket and come watch the fireworks kind of thing.
Right. Well, we knew that it was getting pushed over to the Hudson River as opposed to the East River this year in New York for the Macy's. Is it still Macy's?
I think so.
For the fireworks. And I forgot where they used to do them, but I feel like it was a little more upriver this year toward Midtown, which makes sense, I guess, around like 34th Street, Empire State Building, etc. But I knew like uptown Hoboken, you could see them clearly from 14th Street.
Right. It was the downtown part, but, down further south, you just couldn't really see them. Even the people that were out on Sinatra Drive, which is like on the water, they were even having some struggles seeing because of trees and various things, and it was really further up the river. So unfortunate, but still, Hoboken was a zoo. There must have been, I don't know, 5,000 to 10,000 extra people in the city just taking up space.
I remember
my set
going
ended,
up.
and I sat in traffic for like an hour just to get out of the 1 mile town or city that I'm trying to get out of. So
yeah, right. You have what, three exits out of town. It gets a little difficult when there's congestion like that.
Yeah, it was rough, but it was cool.
How'd that set go?
New venue that we're trying to work with. Great sound system. Loves house music. So it was cool.
Yeah, perfection.
It was good. Rest of the weekend, I was in Atlantic City, and then I was at the Jersey Shore. It was a real networking weekend. I played gigs. I played a lot of gigs, but I used the time in between my gigs to really try to push forward into some rooms that I either used to play in or I want to be in.
Yeah.
I was at HQ2 in Atlantic City, got to check out Joel Corey, got to meet Joel Corey. Super cool, nice guy.
Nice.
Taking a million pictures with all the people there.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed his set. I feel like he gets a lot of hate. I thought he played a great set. I think because his music is very mainstream dancey, he plays different from that.
Right.
And I enjoyed it. It was good.
That's interesting. That he plays completely. Is it completely different? A complete departure?
It's not completely different, but he squeezes in his hits. Some of them are like VIP remixes, so it's a little harder. Sort of fits the sound of today.
Yeah,
it's a little sped up. He plays a bunch of pickle stuff. He hits 70 BPM sometimes. Just good. He played. I enjoyed it. It was good just as a customer hanging out.
Seems like a lot of fun.
Big shout to Andrew Neebs, who opened up. He played for a long time, like a 4 or 5 hour set.
Oh my God,
and,
really?
I thought he did a great job. So I got to talk to him, hang out with him. We'd never actually met, so it was cool to connect with him too.
Awesome.
And then later that night, Jersey Shore, Angelo the Kid was in town playing a set and put on a bunch of Get Down DJs. So I got to hear James Yeager and Sean Magda back to back. I got to hear Two Face, and then I got to hear an Angelo the Kid set, which was dope. And it was fun hanging with those guys. Rendine, 2A Run. We had the whole squad out there. Jake Fabs played a set. It was dope.
A whole Get Down night. Love it. So
yeah, great weekend, long weekend, traveling weekend as it's been here lately.
Yeah, I feel like that's been the regular, and it's going to continue as vacations and things like that roll in. So.
Yeah. So I want to talk about something. We actually asked our Discord. So if you guys aren't in the Discord, there's links all over the place to join the Grow My DJ Business Discord. It's just a great community. We're growing with DJs, producers, nightlife people, Gary's popping curated playlists, edits. There's all kinds of cool stuff in there. And, Gary and I are chatting and posing questions and ideas. We asked the group to kind of throw some topics for the podcast. So all these topics we're going to talk about today are from the Discord. So shout to the guys that and girls that posed some questions, and we're going to read a bunch of them throughout the next few episodes. But the first question was, we talk a lot about reading a room, and as DJs, it's our job to read a room. But how do you actually do that? And whether you're a brand new DJ or someone that's been in the game a very long time, this is like the most important thing that you need to learn how to do. And you're going to continue doing throughout your entire DJ career. So what are some ways that you read the room, Gary?
The first thing that I do when I walk into the room is I take a look around, and I just like to kind of understand who's in the room. And I look at things like race. Look at things like age. I look at things like what people are wearing, because I feel like sometimes that leans into the type of music that they might be into, and kind of take a shot in the dark. And if I'm reading people the right way. I think age is a big one for me, especially in a lot of the venues that I play, because it can be anything from 21 to it could be anywhere from 21 to 45, 50, right? Especially in the beginning of my night. And that's kind of where I start from, right? I know that my peak hour is going to be my peak hour no matter what happens. It's just how am I going to get there? Right. It's the journey from first song to that first peak hour track is the dance that you do. And a lot of times, I can read the room pretty correctly from Jump Street. And then after I play that first song, well, it's like, okay, well, if I don't get a reaction in the next 2 or 3, I'm going to move on to whatever the next genre is, whatever the next thing is that I think is going to garner some kind of reaction, whether that's a head bob or somebody getting up to dance or grabbing a group of girls getting out and singing or whatever it might be. And then I start to kind of maneuver right from there. This is just in a very, how to read a room. Like sometimes I'll have my first 3 or 4 songs that I want to play, that I want to listen to, that I know aren't going to work all night. Like sometimes I'll do that and start there and then start to read after that. But not to say that you need to be reading right off the jump. Sometimes you do though. Like if you're at a place that serves dinner and you're going to go dinner time into your set, which a lot of places do, you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to look around the room. You're going to want to profile. I hate to say that, but that is what it is. That's our job. Like we're profiling who's in the room, and we're going to go from there.
Right, and that's for to start. And I think some of the other things that you can take into consideration is what time is your set? Is it an early set? Is it a nightlife set? Is it an afternoon set? Is it a pool set? Right? What's the context of where are you? Right. What time is it? What's the venue? If you're playing a venue that only plays house music, why on earth would you even consider playing something other than house music? So just understanding the place you're playing, the time you're playing, and the expectations. And you can find out the expectations by simply asking the person that booked you, asking other DJs that play in that room. And that gives you a little bit of a plan or an idea of how you're going to go into playing that particular place, right? So yeah. I think like Gary said, profiling the room and understanding who's there, at least to try and get an understanding of, all right, what might these people be interested in? And I think this really goes for the open format rooms where it's really, really important.
Yeah.
But I think as far as sort of more of what I've been doing, where it's more one speed, more one genre, I think it's also important to understand, well, how deep can I go, right? Is this like I'm playing dance music with popular vocals that everybody knows the whole time? Or can I go and play deep, dark techno? Or can I go and dip into, 70 BPM speed house or Jersey club or something that might be a little off the beaten path? And you could probably still do that a little bit in your very like shallow end places. But
how do you read that? How do you read that? Like I can go away from what we would call like regular house music, very generic, what everybody knows house music, the Fishers, the Chris Lakes, etc.
Right. So you test the water with some stuff that they know, right? If I want to go deep into like tech house, let's say, right? And I want to go from, let's say, a Fisher track that everybody knows into maybe like I don't even know, like Eli Brown, just something like darker that, might be a little faster paced or whatever the case may be. You test them out with some like vocal stuff or songs that they know, and you go a little deeper, and then you go a little deeper. And then all of a sudden, where you started at Fisher, now you're in this dark techno hole, and they're still rocking out.
Yeah.
But maybe you advanced 1 or 2 layers past Fisher, and it's like, well, nobody's moving and they're not into this. And then it's like, all right, well, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So it's baby steps going from shallow to a deeper end of the spectrum as far as the style of music that you're playing.
I think a good way to go about this conversation is like I can take more of an open format because I don't play full house sets. I just don't do it. It's not something I do it 0% of the time. I play super open format sets everywhere, and I think you really play more of those higher end rooms that you're playing artist sets and things like that. So I think you can really speak to how you read those kind of
right. I think that's the other thing, right? No matter what room I'm in, I want to play how I play. And I have to get to that point to see if that'll work, no matter what. And if it works, great. I can rock out all night and have fun and play what I want to play. If it doesn't work, all right, then we're going back to the Joel Coreys, and we're going back to the to the Fishers and the Pitbull vocal over a drop kind of thing.
Right.
It's good too if there's other DJs playing around you to get there and hear what they're doing, and you get to watch a crowd then if you're not just playing open to close type thing. And see what they're reacting to. And then you could start curating in your brain. All right, well, I'm going to start here, then I'm going to go here kind of thing and see where the night takes me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we're looking at nonverbal cues. We're looking for head nods. We're looking for people at the bar tapping their hand, tapping feet. Especially early in the night, you have to look at like some other things other than people raging in front of you with their hands in the air or singing the songs, because you got to get them to that point first. And I think early on in the night, we're taking cues, right? So what are like some other things that you're looking for when you first start that like, all right, I got this in my back pocket for later on when I want to go more aggressive?
I think that, yeah, right. Like I'll sprinkle in a track or two that I think is going to garner a reaction. I hope is going to, that I can, like you said, put that genre or put that type of music in my back pocket for later on. And like, once I put that on, I'm looking around like how many people are singing along to this? How many people are maybe got up to dance to it, like on an earlier side of things. So it would be like, okay, if there's like a big Afro beats record out right now, right? And I'm trying to get there. I know that's going to be a big part of my set, but I don't know if this crowd's going to mess with it. Like, okay, I could play Party Animal, Galileo Party Animal, like early. And like, if people start to move to that, I'm like, all right, well, you know what? They like this kind of genre. I know I can get there later. I'll play a couple more tracks in that genre and then work my way out of it. And then work my way out of it in a way where maybe like I'm going to go into dance hall, or I'm going to go into a Sean Paul record that's maybe 120 BPM and work my way back up in an open format room, I'm saying.
Right.
And then I can be into my 120s and then know later on, okay, maybe I can revisit my Afro beats or even Afro house music, And
let me ask you a question. Let me pause you right there.
Go ahead.
Are you going out of your way in an open format set early in the night to really run through a bunch of genres to try to get that information? Or are you kind of just like playing some stuff until you find one genre that's working and sort of go with that for a little bit? Like, what's your strategy there?
I think how I'm doing it is, all right, if a lot of times in this one venue, I'm just going to think about one venue and kind of run you how I go through that, right? So like, I know I'm going to start with R&B and like, okay, I want to see if there's a Caribbean crowd in here. So then I'll start to like work an R&B track that like has some kind of Caribbean vibes and then work into my Caribbean stuff and like see how deep I can go with my Caribbean stuff.
Right.
This happened to me actually 2 weeks ago. This is actually a great story for this topic. I walk into a room. I have never, ever, ever, ever played soca in this room ever. And I walk in and I'm like, okay, it's an older crowd. So I started to play maybe some K Tronada and like, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to test out some Afrobeat stuff. So I played a little bit of that and they were really vibing to it. And then I was like, oh, they're really into this stuff. Let me see how deep into this I can get. I got a little deeper. And then I was like, let me try a soca track. And it wound up being like half the room was Caribbean. And like all of a sudden I'm like 10 songs of soca in. And like people are like going hard at 10:30. I had started at like 9:30.
Yeah.
And that's just what you do. You got to kind of start to dip your toes in. And then as you could see, people are reacting, just keep going deeper and deeper. And then you get that feeling where it's like, okay, I think they've had enough, and now I
Yeah.
got to switch genres.
I think it's
How-
important to
that's the-
important to find that crew early, because if you find that crew early that starts making it fun in there, as people walk in, they stay.
Right.
And that's how you create a vibe and create a party. Whereas if you don't find that group of people that's going to kind of get the party started, people might walk in and leave because there's no vibe. There's people just sitting around and it's not exciting or cool. Whereas if they walk in, there's like a group of 10 people dancing around or 20 people dancing around at 10:30. They're like, oh, this is great. This is going to be like a dance party. We're going to have a good night kind of thing.
I could have stayed in that Catronata that night, right? Because you know what, the vibe of the room was like chill at the time. But it was like, all right, well, I think I just ran into one track and I was like, wow, they're really vibing to this Catronata version of this dancehall track. And I was like, well, let's try regular dancehall.
Right.
You know? And then that's kind of how that goes.
In a room that's open format where maybe you're playing differently every time, I think it is important to try to move around and play a bunch of stuff early just to see, right? Like, what's my crowd tonight? Because sometimes they want to hear R&B. Sometimes that you can get away with a bunch of house music early. Sometimes it's going to be a hip hop crowd. And then maybe you could drop into some like Jersey club stuff. So I think like testing your audience, playing a bunch of genres early, and taking those cues from the various groups of people that are reacting to certain things is really important, and a great way that later on in the night, you can come back like, oh, I remember this group of people that's still here rocked the Jersey Club. So I'm going to hit another little mini Jersey Club set in my peak hour.
Right. I think within reason, right? Like, and meaning, because some people out here might not think of like, okay, I shouldn't be playing Jersey Club at 9:30 and people are eating dinner. You know what I mean? Like, you should know, like, you shouldn't be playing that. You know,
You can
get.
I have like more chill Jersey Club that's just like a sped up R&B style stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a new style of music. I forget what it's called, but it's Jersey Club style, and it's like sexy R&B, like not as aggressive.
Right. Like, yeah. So I think, but it's just important to know, like, you know, you can't go too big too early. You know, you're going to test that stuff more between your 11 and 11:30, right before your peak hour goes.
It's hard to say, right? Because every venue is different and every DJ set's different.
Every situation's different, yeah.
Like sometimes we're starting at 9 or 10 o'clock, and sometimes it's a 2-hour headline set from 12 to 2 kind of thing.
Right,
so it's a little different. I'll speak a little bit to the headliner thing, right? Because a lot of times I'm playing a bunch of open to close, but I'm doing a bunch of headliner stuff too, and I think instead of me being able to play the room and test out all those things, like I said earlier, like getting there early, seeing what's happening. If it's a new room you've never played, it's really important to ask a lot of questions, talk to the staff, talk to everybody, and then make sure you have a couple, like, that's going to work, records that are just going to hit no matter what, right? I mentioned Pitbull before, but like some of those just classic up-tempo, feel-good songs that everybody knows, it's a great idea to maybe start there, get your crowd a little bit, introduce yourself, and then you could start kind of dabbling into the other subgenres and just like hook them first, and then you start dabbling into the other genres later in the night. Whereas if you're opening the night, you're going to kind of bounce around to start and then kind of go into that set that you know is going to work. So it's a little opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, that set to me is harder, but it's because I do that a lot less. You know, and I feel like whenever I have done those sets, I kind of stick to what I'm thinking I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's why I like to play. That's why I'm a long form DJ. I like to play long sets. Because I like to play a lot of different genres, and I really like to read rooms at different types of the night. That's the challenge that I like. I feel like when it's cramped into 2 hours, I find it way more difficult.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I find it
for
harder.
Open format it takes so much longer, and it takes so much more time.
It does.
And like, I always talk about how before every gig, I basically create a folder of music that I'm going to at least maybe play or think about playing in that set. When I do these open format sets, it's like, all right, I got to build fucking 10 folders of music because I don't know what I'm going to play. I had like, so I think like having folders organized and really focusing on this week I'm going to update my Jersey Club folder. This week I'm going to focus on my EDM folder. This week, the Tech House folder. And just really making sure that you're rotating through those folders and keeping them updated. Because when you are playing open format, it's impossible to just prep specifically for that one gig. You're going to have to rely on the folders that you have in Serato that are existing. It's just not possible to create one folder, you know?
Yeah, I went into one of my folders last week and realized that it was just a hot mess. It was a hot mess. It was so messy. Like I wanted to go into that genre, whatever it was in the 2024 version, the folder of that genre. And I couldn't even go in it because I didn't organize it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know like what those top 5 hitters were in that in a quick time. Obviously, if I wanted to let a track go out 2 verses, I could have, quickly organized something. But like I wasn't doing that in the middle of my set.
No.
So I just kind of let it be. And I was like, well, frig it. I'll just organize it for the next time.
Yeah. It's super stressful to me if I have unorganized or old folders and there's not music that I'm excited to play in those folders. And I think something that we do as DJs, we're always downloading the new music, right? I'm on the record pools. I'm on the Bandcamp and Patreon. I'm on all these different places, SoundCloud, downloading, and organizing that music. But I think sometimes it's really important to say, hey, I'm not downloading any new music for the next week. And I'm going to sit here and really prep out a bunch of folders. And I'm sort of going through that right now because I am sort of trying to transition over to DJing fully on sticks. It's a work in progress for sure. But the most important part of being able to do that is making sure that your crates are extremely organized.
Yeah.
And with the computer, it's a crutch because I could just type stuff all day. I type in song names all day. And I've been doing this long enough that if I'm playing one song, I can think of a bunch of other stuff that works in that zone, and I could just type it in. So I'm going through it right now, guys. Like, I need to tell myself for the next 2 weeks, we're just organizing sticks and Serato, and that's it. No new music.
Organizing existing music, I feel like you'll have your best DJ set. I've had my best DJ sets on just reorganizing existing music, not on downloading new music. Because realistically, at 90% of these open format spots, what people are going to get most excited about is the stuff that they know. We all know the top 10 new stuff. We're all going to play that no matter what happens. But it's like that like back wall news stuff that nobody really cares about, doesn't know yet. That's the stuff that like you really don't need to worry about right now. It's the reorganization of the older stuff and playing it in order that is effective, right? Sometimes we're going to get into this as the next topic, but we all play a lot of the same stuff, so a lot of it's organizational.
Yeah, the other thing too, for me personally, I'm excited when there's new or different versions of songs that I'm playing. I don't want to play the same shit over and over again. And sometimes when I'm playing a big room casino set, like, you sort of got to play a lot of the same vocals. So what I like to do is, all right, if I've been playing this version of hotel room service, I have fucking 50 versions on my computer. Let me take the one I've been playing out and pick another one.
Right.
Maybe I play a 70 BPM version. I just made a Jersey Club version of it, whatever. That's really important to me too, is like, all right, I've been playing this whatever edit for a long time. I need something new because I'm getting bored playing it. So let's go find another version of it.
Well, here's a question for you. So how about when, you talk about these surefire tracks that are going to work, right? Well, what happens if you do pick a remix of this surefire track and it kind of falls flat? You lose your room and you got to regain your room. Like what's your tactic to grab them back?
I don't know. There's just certain tracks that I think no matter what, like, are gonna work.
But in the instance that you're saying, it's like, okay, well, I've been playing this version of this vocal for such a long time. I'm gonna try this new one out, and it's like, oh shit, I tried this new one out and it didn't hit as hard as that other one. And I'm like,
then maybe we go back to the version that has been working on the second half of that track and reset.
Going like you're gonna like then play that other one next.
Yeah, so I let the first build go, the drop hits, nothing happens. All right, let me go grab the other one that I know works.
That's
and
a nice
if that
tactic.
Doesn't work, then maybe I'm just playing the wrong genre of music.
Right. Well, right. Well, that's a good tactic. I like that. I like that.
But yeah, there's certain songs that no matter what, if I'm in a bind or my crowd looks bored or whatever, like there are certain songs that I know are gonna work. And I have folders for, 2024 bangers. I know that if I'm in EDM, peak EDM, and I need a banger, I can just go to that folder and it's all songs that have given me big reactions consistently. Or, 2024 hip hop, these are the 10 tracks I know are going to work. And I have those folders built out.
Nice. I have something that I haven't done in a while. Like I have to be feeling pretty good about myself, pretty saucy usually if I'm going to do this. Like if I see that I played a track and I kind of lost the dance floor, I try to think of the most left field, other direction thing that I can think of, but garners usually a huge reaction, right? So if I'm playing house music and I just played a great song, everybody was going crazy. I play this next song, it doesn't hit, right? And it like really falls flat. It's like, well, what can we do to like wake people back up? Kind of like a smelling salt situation, you know?
Yeah.
And like if that happens and it's like, okay, well, this house song just like missed, I'll like dead the song and like have it go silent in the room and like drop something like public service announcement, Jay-Z.
Yep.
Right? And it's completely different. Now everybody's like, holy shit. And like they're back involved.
Right.
Instantly.
You create a moment.
Right.
Creating a moment is the way to get your crowd back. The number one way.
I love silence. Like I love that as an effect.
Do you just like echo? You echo out or spin it? Echo. I echo spin a lot. So like, do you just like echo it out, and then like scratch in public service announcement or whatever? All I do is win or whatever. Insert banger.
What I'll do is I'll echo.
You still play
like
service announcement?
I don't, and you know what? I
was like, damn, I haven't played that song in so long.
I was thinking about it last week, and I'm like, fuck, I haven't played the song in so long, and it's amazing.
Would people even know what that is?
Probably, I don't know. Guys, comment below if you even know what public service. I know you guys know what it is, but when's the last time you heard it out? And would the younger, if you're a club goer that's 21 to 25, like, would you even be interested in hearing that? Do you know what that is?
Hell no. I think that's older crowd, hip hop crowd only.
I know, but I was using that as a complete weird, that would be a left field thing to play. But anyway, I'm a big like echo out and then just hit pause and literally let it go silent for like a second or two where it gets awkward.
Yeah.
I don't even scratch in. Just, allow me to introduce myself.
Yeah. I like it. I think a couple other ways in creating a moment. Shout the birthday people, right?
I heard somebody do this the other day.
You can echo out. You could use the mic, right? Use the mic as a way to recapture the crowd. I have a bunch of birthday edits that I created that have a slam at the very beginning. So it's just like an impact, a down sweep, and then it goes right into birthday bitch. It goes like a bunch of different ones, bunch of different genres. It's like the ultimate. If I'm in a bind and it's around midnight, we're gonna create a birthday moment.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And it's the same thing, right? Echo, spin out, whatever. Silence or loop or whatever. Jump on a mic. Get the birthday people going. Like, there's going to be somebody that gets hyped when they hear any birthday song.
I was walking by a bar the other night, and it was like an indoor-outdoor bar. And people are just sitting down, and I can hear from 2 blocks away, like, I don't know what this DJ was doing. But as I got closer, I can tell that he was just shouting out birthday people.
Yeah.
And he was playing birthday tracks. And people were sitting down partying so hard. And I was like, this guy's good. I don't know who he is. I don't know what this place is. It was 2 floors up.
Right. If it's a restaurant, like a lot of people are probably going there to celebrate something, right? If they're going down on a Saturday night.
Right.
That's why they're there.
Right. It was great. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who he was, but he was doing a great job. Place looked fun.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, find a way to create a moment, however that is, whatever style of music that is. If your crowd looks bored or they're not reacting to anything specifically, try to create a moment. And that's going to be the title of this podcast.
Perfect. I'm glad we don't have to think about it. You don't have to text me later.
I know, like 2 days later, like, what are we going to name this podcast?
So let's go back to something we talked about a little while ago, and it's just and something that you said that you go and grab different remixes of the same songs that you're playing, but like we all do play the same music, and it infuriates you, right? Like I mean, it's something that you don't like at all.
Like promoters we work with, like J Diamond, Slav, like, you guys all play the same music. DJs all play the same shit, which is fine. We all sort of have to play what's popular, right? That's what we do, right? We just find creative ways to do it, and we find our own ways to do it. But what I will say is, all right, well, if everybody plays the same thing, then why are you hiring a DJ? Just put a Spotify playlist on and play the hits, right? Or I would say, give me the top 100 songs, top 50 songs, top 20 songs, and I guarantee you I will create more energy playing those 20 songs than half the other DJs that you hire or all the DJs you hire, whatever.
That's the big part of it.
I can create energy in playing the exact same music, way more energy than another DJ. And that's why you're paying me. That's why I ask for more money than other DJs. Because I find ways, and we who are higher end DJs find ways to make the same songs interesting and keep your crowd having fun and excited. And there's a lot of ways to do that.
Yeah. I think that, gosh, there's a million different ways to go about this. I mean, it is true, and there's a million different remixes of a million different songs, and it's finding the ones that it's finding your style of those songs and then putting those together in a way that it does create energy naturally, right? And if you can string together a set that is pretty cohesive, then you're a damn good DJ over if it's a 4-hour set, right? Like, even if it's a 2-hour headline, and you can do 2 hours of straight energy and like not give people a break, and it's stuff that they could sing along to, but you are able to give people a break in a way where they don't realize they're getting a break. Like you're good at what you do, right?
Yeah.
It's like you said, we can all play the same music. It just matters how do you string those songs together in a way that works for you and your crowd at the time.
I feel like that would be such a cool DJ challenge to say, hey, here, DJs, here's 20 songs. Make me a mix. And the most interesting, creative, cool mix wins.
Wow, we might have to switch our mix up. I like that. Our mix
like, that would be fun. I would get involved in that.
I'd do that in a second. That'd be amazing.
I think that'd be so fun. And I think it would be so interesting to see the different styles of music that everybody would play and how they would play it.
I would love to see, right? And this is the fun part of it, I feel, how long everybody's mixes are, right? Here's the 20 tracks. You have no time limit.
Like 7 minutes, 6 minutes.
Yeah, right. Your 20 tracks. We used to do, a little off topic, but I'm going to bring it up anyway.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
We used to do at the Ainsworth for halftime of football games, how many songs could Cream play at halftime?
I want to say the record was like 14 or 15.
I think it's a 15-minute halftime, right? I think we got in between 15 and 20 one weekend. I think we got to 18 songs in like a cohesive, sounds good kind of way.
Right, like the crowd's dancing, we're having a great time, and we're rocking out. But how many songs can we jam in?
I remember a couple days looking at me like 12, and like people are still going. Like I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
All the people that used to work with us would be like, how many this week, Cream? How many this week?
So to that point, like. You can be given 20 songs and it could be a 7-minute mix, or it could be a 30-minute mix, 40-minute mix, you know? So there's a million ways that you can mix a song, and it's especially 20 different songs.
Yeah. The reason why this comment infuriates me is because, yes, we are playing a lot of the same vocals, but there are so many ways to play every song. For every, hit there is a version of that song living somewhere that's Jersey club, house, hip hop, like it's Baila Funk, there's a version of everything out there. So it's curating your sound, curating something that the crowd is going to be into. And there's just so many ways to get creative. SoundCloud is an amazing tool. You can find so much shit on SoundCloud if you're looking for a specific remix of a song. I've sat there and gone through hundreds of remixes to find the one remix that fits into my sets.
Yeah.
I create a lot of edits and remixes and songs and stuff that fits in my set that only I have, that sets me apart from everyone else. That's just curating the music. That's one aspect of how you as a DJ can sound different from everyone else. Not to mention acapella ins, acapella outs. Not to mention slam versions. Not to mention mic work. Quick mixing. Like, there's just so many ways. And I know that the people saying that, DJs play the same music, partly they say it to me because they know it pisses me off. But partly it's because they just don't know the intricacies of what's happening to create a successful night.
Those two got some balls on them because you know what? They work at a place that they play the same damn song, the same version a billion times, and they still go crazy to it. So,
well, that's why they say it, because you could play the same 5 songs on repeat for 12 hours and it would work.
There.
The same version, the same song. I would love to go in there and play Calling on repeat and see how many times I could play it without someone yelling at me or the crowd not reacting. I feel like that'd be a great experiment.
Oh my God. A-Track said something one time, and I'm thinking about being a great curator of music. And sometimes we're not all the best. You and I aren't the best technical DJs, right? I can mix the shit out of 2 songs, but I can't. But I'm not great. I'm not great at scratching. So I'm thinking A-Track right now.
We have enough in the tank to be able to do some things.
But A-Track was saying, he's like, one of my favorite DJs can't scratch. He's like, just literally just not a good scratcher, but he's one of my favorite DJs.
Right.
So I'm thinking, if you want to go see somebody who can put together a set list and move and rock a nightclub, but they're not a technically great DJ, that's a great person to go learn from how to build a set, right? Because they're so reliant. I am so reliant on the flow of my night because I'm not a great person on the microphone. I'm not a great scratcher, Like I said, I can mix 2 songs and I could seamlessly get from reggae to punk rock, pretty quickly, where you wouldn't even notice it. But those are the DJs that you want to go see if you want to learn how to arc a night,
Yeah, and I just understand who you are as a DJ. You don't have to be the guy that's on the mic if that's not your strength. You just have to be able to do enough,
Right.
If you don't scratch or you're not that good at it, you don't have to scratch. Just don't scratch. Mix the songs cleanly. Use some effects. Use some loops. Do some cool things when blending music. Use acapellas. There's so many ways to sound great in your own way. The way that shows off your skills the best, do that. If you don't know how to scratch, don't scratch in the club because it sounds like shit.
Right.
There's DJs I've been like, yo, don't do that anymore.
I see so much overuse in skills that people don't have, whether that be being on the microphone too much, whether that be scratching too much, whether that be mixing the same exact way every song. If you are in if you like a 3 scratch and drop kind of a mixer, don't mix like that every song. People get sick of it. If you're a echo out, spin and mix, don't do that every song. It's tiresome. You have to use different techniques throughout your set. And I think that's a great way to keep a crowd interested.
Yeah, that's great advice. I totally agree. At the end of the day, I find it as a disrespectful comment. It's disrespectful to the art of DJing, and it bothers me because of that. It really does. And people don't understand how much it takes to be good at this craft.
I'm laughing.
And how many hours it takes, and how much practice, and how much work to be able to play for 2 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I could teach you how to play 2 songs in an hour probably on decks. But there's a far cry from being able to mix 2 songs together and being able to be a headliner DJ. It's like a world apart. It's a world apart.
Some people never get there.
It's a world apart to me sometimes in just being a good DJ that can play a local bar to being able to be like a headliner, party rock, nightclub DJ.
That's what I'm saying. Some people never get there. It's hard. It's hard. It took me a long time.
Yeah.
Somebody had asked me how do you, how long did it take you to get to where you're at? I don't know, 13 years? Not like a year? It's no, 13 years.
Yeah.
Of playing crap gigs. So it's just, it's interesting. And some people just won't ever, Like, I'll never go play shows that you play ever. That'll never happen in my lifetime. You know what I mean?
You don't really want to, though. If you wanted
Right.
to, you've done it, and you could have continued doing it.
Right. I guess so. But like, I don't know. I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, a lot of DJs who start will never get to that level.
No, it's fucking hard.
Right. That's my point.
Like, there's less and less venues. There's more and more DJs. How do you set yourself apart?
It gets tougher. It's gotten tougher.
It was tough when I started DJing, you know, like, and it's only gotten harder.
Yeah, for sure. I hope these guys don't hear this episode, because they are going to bust your balls till the fucking cows come home.
Oh, Justin and Slavs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Cream. Shut up, Cream. You can't tell me that you're not playing the same set as the next DJ.
If anybody knows Jay Dime, that's absolutely hilarious.
All right.
I'm
going to break some hearts on this next topic, and I apologize ahead of time, and maybe I'm just a hater. Maybe I'm a hater. If I'm just a hater, call me out. You can call me out. It's okay.
I'm going to call you out right here in the episode.
I just don't understand the Keinmusik, like, explosion. I don't understand Keinmusik at Brooklyn Mirage. I don't understand how you could listen to that music for more than a few hours type thing. Like, I just don't get it. Help me understand. I don't, like, they 2 days at Brooklyn Mirage, like, incredible to me. There's that many people that want to go do that.
Well, I mean, man, where do we start?
I just don't get it. I like the music, but to me, I want to listen to that music when I'm cleaning my house. I want to listen to that music when I'm at the pool. I want to listen to that music when I'm floating in the sea in Croatia, which I did, which was amazing. I don't want to go to Brooklyn, to this big ass place with all this lights and sound and all this, and, like, I just don't get it. I put my pashmina on, you know?
Your crochet shirt?
Big pashmina crowd over there. Is that how you say it? Pashmina? Is that what it is? It's like the Fisher bucket hat to the Keinmusik pashmina now.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna say crochet shirt for sure.
Yeah, that too. Get your crochet out. They knitted it on the way there.
Oh man, I saw in a comment that you in your note that you called it opener music, which kind of like
music.
I took a little offense to that being you know. I think calling it opener music, I think that's a very subjective thing, because I'm like a straight fan of that genre. I'm not just a fan of them or
what
their
is
music.
The genre? Is it Afro House? What is it called?
It's somewhere. It lives in Afro House land, but it's not straight Afro House. It's really what we used to call what it used to be progressive or deep house. We would call that deep house, right?
Deep house.
Like when I would go out, right?
Like minimal,
have to
sort
go
of.
minimal, right? Minimal deep house progressive is what it used to be, right? The guys who would used to play that would be like Seth Troxler, who's still around, and Sasha, and Ben Watt from Everything But the Girl.
Yeah, like those were all skips for me.
Those are all right. And we would have to go out and find little bars that play this. And I'm talking like 100-person bar, right? And they'd sell tickets, and you'd go. Hotels would usually pick up these parties.
Yeah, this is great hotel lobby music.
But they're still parties, and they were, the sound was great, and there were great DJs, and there were great producers. And I had never met, when it was less popular, I had never met a more passionate group of people about music. For whatever reason, they were more passionate than the next guy that was playing techno or that was playing EDM at the time, because EDM was just starting to blow. And now I feel like with the popularity of Black Coffee, and Black Coffee just played MSG last year or this year, one or the other. It was in the wintertime. And with the popularity of like a Shimza, and with the popularity of Afro House, and with the popularity of Afro Beats, I feel like so many more people are kind of exposed to more cultural music. And I think that also with the popularity of electronic music as a whole, it was just only a matter of time before this genre really blew up. right? Where that you can just play kind of chilled out music, and the drops is really what it's all about. Like all those little minor drops is really what it's all
You
about.
call
They're
it a drop? I
very
wouldn't
minor.
even call it a drop though. It's
They're
not
very
really a
minor.
drop.
No, they're not. They're not.
It's like,
But like,
oh, the drums came back in. Like,
right. But it's all about melody. It's not so much about. I feel it's not so much. Why I listen to it is more melody and vocal. Like if there's a vocal.
well, I think the vocal part
needs
of it
to be
is
good.
now, as the music's getting more popular, I think the vocal part of it is kind of coming. And now, guys, I I think the music is good. I'm not like hating on the music overall.
You don't get the live experience.
I don't.
Understand
And maybe I just have to go and experience it. But I don't know. I don't. It's just so far away from the music that I like and listen to, and that's probably part of the reason why I can't
Right.
understand it, because it's just not what I like generally.
I would rather go to that personally than go see, I don't know, name somebody. Because we talked about Fisher.
Like I'd rather go headbang at the rail and listen to fucking dubstep and Ray Volpe and Subtronics and all that shit than the chill house stuff.
Yeah, I have way less.
Yeah, I'm ready to headbang at the rail.
Yeah. I want to chill out in the back and like have a cocktail and listen to that.
I think part of the reason why I hate on this is because like I feel like it's all the people that like I don't even think they understand the music or like the music. It's just the cool thing to do now, and that's why I hate it, because everyone's jumping on the bandwagon and getting their pashmina and going to fucking Brooklyn Mirage till 7 a.m. because it's like the cool thing to do.
What is this?
Like the
what
people
is
that
the product?
Hold on. It's like the people that go to the Yankees playoff games because it's the cool thing to do in New York and Yankees are in the playoffs. Like that's what I equate it to.
What is this a product of? This is a direct product of. Do you know? I mean,
I don't know.
Could you take a guess? It's a direct product of everybody going down to Mexico and everybody Instagramming that,
like Tulum stuff.
Yeah, and
Tulum
then
vibes. That's what we want on the roof. Tulum vibes. Gary, my computer's gonna die, so talk. I gotta put a charger in.
So, like this Tulum vibes, phenomenon has become a thing, so much so that like when we book places, like even we book a market, or we were booking like a farmer's market on like a Tuesday, and what did the head of the farmer's market want? "Quote unquote" Tulum vibes, which is such an strange thing to be requested. And then it was like, okay, we're going to do this rooftop, this one certain rooftop. And what did that manager want? We want "quote unquote" Tulum vibes. And then you go and play real Tulum vibes and like, oh, no, that's not what we want. It has become just an overhyped, overused "quote unquote" genre. And then I feel like all the people that really did go down to Tulum and consume Keinmusik and consume everything like it, wants to relive that experience. And that's why Brooklyn Mirage shows sold out quickly, because when they came out in the wintertime or the fall, it might have been last fall that they dropped those tickets. I went to go buy them and the day one was sold out immediately.
Yeah, that's insane.
This is just a recreation of everybody wanting to be back a part of, or feel like they're in Tulum and getting your "quote unquote" Tulum vibes. That's what this is.
But you're in Brooklyn, New York. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I want to listen to this in Tulum. If I'm in Tulum, this is all I'd want to hear all day. It'd be great. I'd love it. But it's like it's an environment thing. I don't understand. I guess I'm hating, and I've never experienced it, and that's not always the best way to, I don't know, to think about something. But
yeah, I could see where you think that like it's more just environmental, but like if you're somebody who puts that on in the car going to work, like you're a fan of that music, you want to go see that music no matter where it is, right? Whereas like you'll go put that on because you're in the pool in Croatia.
Yeah,
or you're in the sea in Croatia, right? You're like setting your musical taste to the place that you're in, where these people are actual fans. Like they're listening.
Are they?
Hey, listen, if they listen to it in their car going to work and they listen to it regularly, they want to go see it play, performed. Whether if it's boring or not to you, they see something in it. Just like the Dead. Like I listen to the Dead all the time, and some people listen to the Dead just when they're touring, or
I feel like people like if people at the Dead shows, I think the people that go to the Keinmusik shows dance the same way.
It's probably they're like mock hippies, right? I guess
that's what I'm saying.
They're the hippie. They're the hippie version of house music fans. Is that what it is?
Maybe that is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah. Are they wearing hemp and shit? No, like crochet. They're definitely wearing crochet.
But like, it was hilarious. I was watching like a bottle train going out like to a table while this was all happening, and I'm like, what world are we in? What are we doing out here?
Yeah, I could see if people were like smoking a hookah or something, or like smoking something.
At the end of the day, though, I'll say this, right? I'm like half joking, but I'm half serious. I'm just not really into it, and I don't totally understand it, but I understand that a lot of people do if they're selling out the Mirage for 2 nights. So
yeah.
I want to give a huge shout out to Toneset. He's been really into this vibe and making music in this world, and he got some support from and me, I think, and a couple of the guys at various stops on their tour. Yeah. So go check out Toneset's Big Jet Plane remix. It's on his SoundCloud.
So good.
Dope track. Shout out to Toneset. He's probably listening to this wanting to punch me in the face. So, Tone, I wanted to make sure I shouted you out to get a little love back. We love you. Help me understand.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah, let's wrap.
Anything we have to promote here?
I don't know, man. I don't think so.
I think we're good. I think everybody have a great summer.
Follow us go subscribe on YouTube. We're really trying to grow our YouTube and trying to spend some time there. So if you don't follow us on YouTube, you can watch this podcast on YouTube, and we're putting a bunch of other stuff on there. And join the Discord. Those are the 2 things I will say to do.
All the links below, so check it out.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode. We will talk to you soon.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Peace.